What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the M Brothers podcast. We are your hosts. I am Christian, and
Annie.
may the 4th be with you.
You know, I was gonna say that.
Come on, man. I had to beat you to it. Had to beat you to it.
Happy Star Wars Day.
Yes, may the Force be with everyone. Went a little nerd out for this.
Yeah. I had completely forgot, honestly. Well, I didn't forget. Let me rephrase that. I forgot today was
May 4th.
May 4th.
Yeah.
I didn't forget about that,
Yeah.
But the year's just been flying.
Quick. Yeah. Quick, but it's been it kind of been of a fucked up year, too. Lot of
there's been a lot going on.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get into it. But yes, again, may the 4th be with everyone. I woke up and I was just like, man, look at my phone was dead. Charged it. I'm like, oh shit, it's the 4th. I look at me. I'm like, may the 4th be with you always. She just looks at me and just fucking know what you're talking about. So I'm gonna go back to playing.
Yeah. This wasn't a topic that we discussed or anything like that, but just off the top of your head, Junior was sent us he was watching episode 3.
Yeah.
Today, which I was surprised. I was surprised he was watching Star Wars at all.
Yeah, that what I was more surprised by.
What is your favorite one?
Revenge of the Sith, my favorite because it has one of the best fight scenes in there that I've ever seen between Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Okay, remind me which one. Is that the third one? Or
that's the third one.
Revenge the one that he was watching?
Yeah, the one he was watching. So one of the best fight scenes when they were in the lava planet. I feel like I got to dumb it down a little bit for you.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that lava planet, that was one of the best fight scenes, like again. And then but on top of that fight scene, Yoda and Emperor Palpatine were also having a fight scene, which was a good fight scene. But that and then the emotion in it, the anger you could feel that's coming out of it, but the good that's trying to be put into it. It's just a good mix up of everything.
Yeah. They
didn't do no bad to it. I'm glad they came out. They're coming out on May 20th, I think, or something. I don't know, April or something like that. Or last month or this month. The 20th anniversary for Revenge of the Sith.
It's been in the theaters.
Yeah,
for
it's
the
been in
last 2
theaters,
weeks or something like that. Yeah.
I'm just like,
I don't know if it's still in there, but it was.
So I'm like, for that movie, great fucking movie. But right behind it, I think would be Attack of the Clones, which is the second one.
Episode 2?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, no shade.
Yeah. I like that one.
No, okay.
I like the well. I can't even say I grew up on the first 3.
On the prequels.
The prequels, because as a kid, I watched. I think it was 5 and 6.
I get slammed in the comments.
That's fine. That's cool. Hey, now at least I'm not saying I'm liking the last 3 with those terrible things.
Episode 7 wasn't terrible.
The reason why I know you're gonna say the reason why you think it was okay or decent was because
copied,
it was
the exact same thing as the last
yes, one. But it's been so long since we had a Star Wars movie.
That's true.
And it was something where it was like, holy shit, a Star Wars movie is coming back to theater. This is gonna be, and you don't want to hate it, but you want to hate it, and you don't want to love it either.
Yeah, I definitely don't love it.
It was an okay movie.
It was all right.
They killed Han Solo, which was sad.
Yeah, I think that it. We had episode 7, and I think if they would have kept that trajectory, it would have been a good little 3 movies. But I don't know where the fuck they went.
Kathleen Kennedy, bro, she fucked it all up.
Well, it wasn't her though, because so they hit the director, right?
Mm-hmm.
And usually, if you know you're going to direct 3 films, you got a plan.
Yeah.
Right? This motherfucker had no plan.
Yes,
he had the first movie, and then he was like, well, I guess we'll just see where we go with the second movie. I don't know where we're going to go with the second movie.
But at the end of the day, she had the last word of it.
I mean, she is in charge of the studio and stuff like that.
And she always puts some kind of bullshit in there.
Either way, we're not here to play the blame game on who the fuck was at fault.
Fuck that. It was her. Get rid of her, and I think it'll be a lot better.
Leaving already and stuff like that.
No.
Yeah.
Is she actually leaving?
Yeah.
Because from when
she'll be out by
the end of this year.
By the end of the year.
So is she actually leaving, or did she shut the rumors down again?
No, she's not retiring. Like, she'll still be producing movies, but she's leaving Lucasfilm. She's no longer going to be the head of Lucasfilm.
Okay, I could deal with that.
Like,
I want to research that more because
if you look at some of the other movies that she's produced, she's a good producer. There's a difference between being a producer and being the head of the studio. You know,
what other has she produced? If you know off the top of your head?
She's worked with I forget. Let me look up movies that she's
because I know she's one of them people that the woman needs to be on top and all that shit. I don't mind that. Cool. But she kind of spits it in your throat kind of thing.
She's produced the Indiana Jones movies, the Solo movie, E.T., Jurassic Park, The Goonies.
So where did she fuck up with this Star Wars movie?
More of the Jurassic Park world, The Sixth Sense, Gremlins, World of Worlds. There's a lot more here. I'm just trying to put the known ones.
So why did she fuck up with these Star Wars movies?
Signs, Twisters, Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3.
Great movies too.
Great movies. So as a producer, a producer doesn't do much. They fund the movie. They have a little bit of say-so and stuff like that. So she's a good producer. But the difference between being a great producer and being a head of the studio is a completely different thing, because as the head of the studio now, you're on top of making the decisions about everything. You're the one in charge of making sure of like greenlighting these things. It's your job to be the helm of whatever universe that you're supposed to be helming, and that is not something she's good at. Obviously, as we see. But excuse me, I don't want to discredit her as a producer, because as the list shows,
was pretty good.
She's a good producer.
Yeah,
she just sucks as the head of a studio.
And I'm not sad that
I'm not here to defend her. I just want to, make sure we get it right.
But Lucas actually saw her. That okay.
Yeah, Lucas handpicked her,
right?
Because I think again with him, I think it was one of those where he saw everything that she's done.
Yeah.
And she thought that she would be good for on paper. It seems like she's good for the role. On paper. But then when they got in there, I
don't know what happened.
It's something happened. But it's not to. She is responsible. Yeah. Some of the blame has to be on her too, because she's the head of the studio.
Right. She gave it the green light. Right. At the end of the day.
But at the end of the day, you have to also acknowledge some of the things that she's done. Like you're a fan of the Mandalorian series, right? She also greenlit that. She wasn't the person making it, just like she wasn't the person making everything else. But she's the one that allowed this to be made. So we can say, she did a very shitty job. But she also was responsible for some of the things that you like as well.
Yeah. Did you see The Mandalorian? Now that we're on the topic of Star Wars,
I didn't actually. No.
So you haven't seen anything other than the movies?
I haven't seen any of the shows.
Okay.
Have you seen Andor?
No, I wanted to finish so I could binge the shit out of it because for me it looks good.
I heard it's great. Yeah.
And then they're also making a cartoon that just came out also, like under or behind the streets or something like that. It's like, I guess it's like the villain side of Star Wars. Okay. So I'm excited for that too.
But she needs to get the fuck out. Yeah. They need to put someone in here that knows what they're going to be doing. Because Star Wars for the last
shows sadly has been keeping that a little bit above flow. I'm not saying they're taking it, but
it's been keeping people satiated. Yeah, I guess. But it's also been making people angry because things like The Mandalorian season 3 wasn't great.
Nobody liked it. Not a lot.
The Book of Boba Fett wasn't that great.
It was terrible.
That
was like a half. That was a half Book of Boba Fett, half Mandalorian season thing.
Obi-Wan series.
That was terrible.
What's the other one that just came out? There was like 2 that came out last year that I heard were just terrible.
The Ahsoka
series.
I haven't seen that one, but I want.
And then there was something else that came out that I just heard was terrible.
Oh, and there was another one, Bad Batch, the cartoon. I think that was a cartoon. The cartoon ones are doing somewhat decent, but I don't know, man.
But either way, so we're back on that. You are part of episode 2. You said, right?
Yeah. So right behind it. Because like I said, Revenge of the Sith. As I was growing up, like I said before, I don't know what happened, but as I was growing up, I was watching 5 and 6. Like every time I would go to my dad's on VHS, 5 and 6. I don't know why. Like the Ewoks, they're my niggas. and they were just we were same height, everything. So, but I don't know, they were just cool, Chewy and all that. It was like a happy memory watching them for some reason. But yeah, ever since. But like I said, I grew up with the prequels, and 3 and 2 would be my first two.
Okay.
That I could just like, oh shit, it's on. I'll put it on, no problem, or go back to watch it sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey. You know.
Yeah. Nothing against Phantom Menace. Nothing against Qui-Gon Jinn, the first guy.
Yeah.
Nothing against him. It was cool.
I didn't. You know, honestly, I thought you would have been like the original trilogy kind of guy.
Like I said, I grew up watching the 5 and 6, but it wasn't one of those where I'm just like, yeah, these are. I like the action part of it, of everything. 2 and 3, I could sit and watch it and listen to it, kind of thing.
Okay, I feel.
And like I said, I grew up watching those more, so I kind of grew up to like those more. Like I said, the part 2, the Count Dooku fight with. When it was Count Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan at the very end, Anakin gets his arm cut off. That like, damn, that's funny. That's cool. And then Yoda and Count Dooku fight it out. You're just like, man, this shit's kind of start falling in love with the lightsaber.
I don't hate the prequels
like
some people. Some people fucking
hate
the prequels.
Yeah.
I don't hate the prequels. I don't really like the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 2 is good. My favorite of the prequels is episode 3.
Yeah.
But besides that, I think, I don't know, it's kind of hard to place 4, 5, and 6 in any order. But I prefer the original trilogy over the prequels. But that's just me.
Mm.
Yeah, just, you know, wanted to bring that
Do you
up.
remember part 4?
I get them all kind of like
see, that's the
mixed
thing.
up because that whole trilogy is kind of like one just long ass movie.
One long movie.
You know?
And that's why I'm like, okay, that they're all great movies. But if you want to if you want to kind of separate them, it's a little hard too.
Yeah, because I mean, the original trilogy is more of like Luke's story.
Yeah,
you know, Luke and Leia's or whatever, all that, and the prequels are more of like Anakin's story. But yeah, I mean, they're all. You're not wrong for whichever one.
Like I said, I grew up with those. Yeah. I'm assuming that's why you like 3.
I grew up. I mean, and 3 was just. Some people just hate 3, but I think 3 was the best one.
I don't know why. I don't know how. It's like even if you take away the story, the action behind it all.
Yeah, like the guy that I watch on YouTube where I get most of my movie.
Yeah,
he hates the prequels. He doesn't hate, but he's very, you know, if you like them, that's good for you. But me personally, I hate them. You know, but even he says, you know, episode 3 is all right. But he was making some points the other day. On that last fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, where, you know, they're fighting and this and that, and then Obi-Wan's like, it's over, like, Anakin, I have the high ground. You've had the high ground this whole time, kind of. Like, what does you have being 10 feet above him in the fight now have to do?
Where did he have the high ground,
you know, like,
no,
but like
bullshit. No, I already hate this guy.
Like, what does you having the high ground have to do with this fight? Right now, you know,
you got the high ground, bro. That's it. Like, you got to understand.
Now, I love that scene. You know, it's so quotable. That whole freaking scene when he's like telling him that, you know, like he's like, my allegiance is to the Republic, you know, all this and that, all that. It's great, but I like it personally. But he was making some pretty good points when he was talking about it because Star Wars are like his favorite movies and stuff. But we're getting off track. I'm more partial to the original trilogy. But if you guys, whatever you guys like, whatever you guys like.
And there's some people that don't even like Star Wars and they go to Star Trek.
Yeah.
Fucking loser. No, I'm just like.
I've actually never watched Star Trek before.
Star Trek, so my dad is like, back then, the original Star Trek, the original trilogy, I think it's called. I don't know. So the original Star Trek with, I think it was Captain Kirk, his name, bald guy.
Yeah.
The Charles Xavier, basically, from the original X-Men.
Right, yeah, I remember.
Him. Mm-hmm. When he was a captain, I think that's when my dad started like watching or like loving it, I guess. He had like all the movies, VHS and all that shit. And yeah, I didn't get into it. I got into Star Wars somehow. Yeah. So, I don't know. And they're still making Star Trek movies, but I just never got into any of them.
I think there's a TV show on right now.
Is there?
I think so.
Oh shit! Hey, more power to Star Trek.
I think the guy from the Vampire Diaries that I met is in the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I just anyways.
But yeah.
Happy Star Wars Day to everybody. Let us know what your favorite Star Wars movie is.
Or just talk shit that we're nerds. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
Or that we don't know as much as we're to think that we know. Because someone out there always knows more.
Yeah.
And they always want to say that they know more.
My supervisor, he's like Star Wars stupid. Like he'll like when I came up to him, I think like 4 or 5 months, and I'm like, hey, did you hear Kathleen Kennedy's gonna be stepping down? He's like, you just heard that, right? Not true. I'm like, what? I'm like, I just saw it yesterday. He's like, not true. She went online to kill all the rumors that she's not stepping down like that. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, not true. I'm like, damn. He smacked me with some fucking facts. And then he started going on with a whole bunch of other facts where I just don't remember. But yeah, he's like a Star Wars guru when it comes to that shit. Like he knows. I remember in I think episode 5 when Jabba the Hutt, when they were in his palace.
Yeah.
And that little fucking screaming thing, that little monster thing, it has the black eyes. It's weird fucking little monster thing. He knows the name of that. Like he goes that far to where he knows the name of all those things like that. Yeah. And I'm just like, damn, what the fuck? So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Weird, but pretty cool.
Yeah. So let us know down below what you guys
for sure
think.
I want to get into this drink real quick. So where'd you get this?
So I get these at Myers. This is a bum energy.
This is at Myers? Damn, root beer.
Yeah, this is a root beer flavor. I personally am not a big fan of root beer in general. So
like the A and D or whatever?
Yeah, like any kind of root beer, really. Like I like it. It wouldn't be my first or 10th choice.
First or 10th, god damn.
So we'll see how it is to somebody that doesn't like root beer and someone that you like root beer, right?
Yeah. Oh, this shit tastes just like A&D.
It's not bad. It actually tastes exactly like root beer. It tastes more like root beer than Dr. Pepper one tastes like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Even though the other one's Dr. Bum.
Dude, this is actually really good. I think I'm going to order some because this is fucking delicious.
It actually is. For someone that doesn't...
This is how A&D tastes.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I don't like root beer. It's just not my...
Yeah.
It's not something I gravitate towards.
When I was growing up, I hated root beer. Hated Dr. Pepper. Couldn't fuck with them.
That's actually really good.
They weren't my peoples. Couldn't fuck with them at all.
No?
Sprite was my guy.
Interesting.
I haven't drank Sprite for a long time. It's been Dr. Pepper and root beer. Now, I don't know, as I get older, I guess my taste
Fanta was always my thing.
Really?
The pineapple Fanta.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
I love pineapple style.
Back then,
yeah. Now,
wow, really?
Dr. Pepper.
That is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's disgusting, but that's a weird one that's alike right there.
Yesterday when I went to the movies to watch the Thunderbolts, which we're going to get into later on in this episode, they didn't have Dr. Pepper. They had like Dr. Pibb and all that shit. I'm like, I'm not going to get
Dr.
Pibb. So I looked at the Fanta options and they had the zero sugar pineapple, which is like nowhere to be found ever. So I grabbed that motherfucker. Sipping on that during the movie.
Did you get a refill after?
I didn't. I was going to.
What a loser.
But I was just like, Just left
Dan, I wanted fruit punch. And I was like, okay, I'll get it.
Left my cup there for the workers.
Damn. It's all right. I left my nachos there. Dan was like, you're not going to grab that? I'm like, nah, give him something to do.
Okay, what would you give it?
This, the Sebum Energy, I would give it out of a 5, I would give it a 5 out of 5 because I like root beer. And this literally tastes just like root beer.
If you like root beer, I would say it's like a 5 out of 5. Yeah. For me personally, I give it like a 3.8.
Mm-hmm.
I would buy it again, but it wouldn't be the first flavor I gravitate towards.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, obviously, because you're not a big root beer guy.
But if somebody had one and they're like, you want one? I'm not gonna turn it down.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
By any means.
I'm gonna order some of these.
Yeah, he did good with this one. He did really good with this one.
Fuego.
So pick your guys up some.
Yeah, pick up some bum energy, man. This shit's good.
It's good. It's really good. It's not that high in caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have like low caffeine tolerance, one of these is perfect. If you just need like a little pick me up.
Yeah,
again,
I use it for the gym to like
perfect.
As I'm almost there. That's when I open it.
Yeah,
and it gets me pretty good.
When I'm trying to cut down on caffeine, I just drink the bum energy.
Yeah, you might as well.
You know, because I can have 2 or 3 of these, and it's only like 300 milligrams of caffeine, which is if I have fucking, usually I'm having like 2 monsters and a cup of coffee.
Yeah, fucking.
That's like 500.
Yeah.
So I can still sip on my energy drink, and not be that high up.
Be high. Yeah.
The fucking caffeine and stuff like that.
That's good. Well, speaking of the gym, how have you been doing this week?
Gym wise.
Sorry, I want to bring up something that I saw that you text that I was like, damn, you didn't lose it, but you said that you kind of been lacking.
Okay.
A little bit. When,
right. Yeah.
So you basically texted you've been lacking. Obviously, I've been lacking for the last couple months. But how have you been lacking? Where have you lost?
I think
it a little bit?
lacking has been. I'm still in the gym.
Yeah,
like 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Where I've been slacking is getting my steps in.
Mm-hmm.
I still go and get my steps every day, but I'm not hitting that 10K. Excuse me, 10K goal that I was trying to achieve before I left work.
Yeah,
every day anymore. And meals, honestly. Yeah. Eating wise has not been great. Like just in general, like haven't been meal prepping, haven't been grocery shopping.
What have you been?
I've just been going out, honestly.
Just substituting going out. Eat once and then you're done for the day.
Then I'm pretty much done for the day because I get full or whatever, and then I'll just come home and eat whatever's available or whatever my parents make.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad, but like after having something from, eating out and then coming home to eating whatever they make, which is usually like, some type of meat and whatever.
Meat, beans or something like that, yeah.
But they're not shy about the oil and everything like that. So it's just been the food has been killing me. I've been bloated for days.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
I feel like my workouts have been suffering as a part of it. And I used to have a rule for myself: 30 minutes on the stairs, non-negotiable. It's been very negotiable the last couple of last week or two. I'll do 15. I'm like, I'm ready to go. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
20, skipping it all together. Just.
Hey, you can't. You don't have to explain that to me. I went to the gym once this week. I feel a little bit good. The eating, we actually been eating at home. I barbecued Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we just been eating that. But when I got sick, I spent like $250 on just fast food.
Just eating out.
Yeah, because she didn't want to cook. I didn't want to cook.
Right.
We were both sick. It's hard enough already taking care of the baby while we're both sick.
Right.
Why do we want to kind of... cooking's not easy.
No.
If somebody says, oh, yeah, cooking's easy, just cook. Fuck you. It is not easy if you cook every day. The way I work, it's long fucking hours.
Right.
And then dealing with the cold, shit. Just to have to get home, cook, you kind of want to relax. Yeah, understandable. Maybe not relaxing. Maybe go cook. You want to relax. Fuck that.
Yeah.
The world we live in, kind of really easy to just go on DoorDash, order some shit, and that's it.
And us, I mean, like, getting out of work and getting off the expressway, there's a multitude of options for us to stop right before we even get home.
Yeah. And they're not, you got your McDonald's, your Burger King, but you also have Portillo's, Popeyes, fucking Potbelly.
Potbelly.
You have
Freddy's, Chick-fil-A,
Five Guys,
Five Guys
Panda.
is right there. Yep.
You have all that. We have
There's
some
even
good
a Smoothie
shit.
King right there too.
What?
Smoothie King's even right there too.
Yeah, it's like
But
everything's right here.
there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
just between here and getting to
home.
our house. Yeah,
just literally between here and it's like a 10-minute drive, I think.
Yeah. So it's very easy to just
go get something
to eat. Yeah. But today I did go grocery shopping. We went to church this morning. Then I went grocery shopping, cooked. So I've got my ground beef, my ground turkey, my potatoes, my veggies. Got my fucking yogurt.
Nice.
Everything.
Oh damn, you went to yogurt.
I've got it ready. Once I upload this podcast, I'm gonna go and actually put them, at least my lunches, in containers. Yeah. Get my breakfast ready, which is gonna be yogurt, protein powder, a little bit of honey, a little bit of salt, probably some blueberries or something in there.
Nice.
It's gonna be my breakfast, and we're gonna get back to it. You know, I said it was gonna be June 1st, tank top day. No. We're moving it.
We're moving it.
We're pushing it back.
This fucking guy. Okay.
I think the new date, if I did it correctly, the math was gonna be July 17th.
July 17th.
July 17th.
Okay.
And which would be whatever day that week we record and stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Is this gonna be set in stone, or is this gonna
be set in stone?
Is it gonna be one of those where you're gonna like kind of scratch it off with a rock and then go back at it again?
We chiseled off the first day. There's only one more date out there, you know. I think that gives me 75 days from starting from tomorrow to see what I can do.
Okay.
And yeah, I want you guys to keep me accountable. Want everybody to try to hold me accountable and stuff like that. We're gonna see how much progress we can do in the next 75 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much been what it's been like. It's just been lacking the motivation. I've been in the gym, but workouts have not been what they're supposed to be.
I've been trying. So this week has just been I've been getting home. We're not both sick. We're good now. But when I get home, I'm just like, I don't want to leave them. I kind of want to just stay with them kind of thing. And I'm just like, fuck, I want to go to the gym. And one day I fell asleep all day, and I'm just like, fuck, I can't go. The next day it was one of those where it's like, well, we got to get laundry done, this done, this done, this done. I'm like, I'll go to the gym after you're done then. It's like 4 o'clock. I'm like, nah, I'm just going to stay home. But Friday I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I got my gym clothes, put it in the car, went to work. Right after work, went straight to the gym. So I'm going to have to do that to myself again. Saturday, she was at work, so I sit home. I just didn't want to do nothing. Baby's sick right now, so shitty. So kind of just been catering to all her needs,
right? So
she doesn't have to feel any kind of other way. So that's been a little bit tiring, but yeah, she's sick, so it's kind of shitty.
Speaking of the baby and stuff like that, did Diana listen to last week's episode?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, I was gonna be like, what did she think of your thoughts?
Was she right? I can't know. She'll tell me as soon as she listens to it, she'll either text me or be like, "So what the fuck? You gotta say something like that." So, but yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah, and once the baby is a little older and stuff we'll have Diana back on.
Yeah,
it's just kind of hard right now.
Yeah,
for both of you guys to leave. And stuff like that
for sure. Shit, just to get to the movies, we had to we put her to sleep, and then that's when Rosa started watching her as she was sleeping. We just ran out. That's it. It was just run out. She woke up, and then I think 30 minutes later we got home.
Do you guys already have your tickets?
Yeah, I bought them online. Okay. Yeah. So it was some shit.
Before we get into the review, this either could be a long episode or a short episode. We're already half an hour in. Damn. Before we get into the review, last week we spoke about the Big Les show.
Yes. So I've been watching
Have you
it.
been watching it?
Yes, I've been watching. I only seen the first season. I think I seen the first and all of the second or half the second. That shit is fucking hilarious. It's the most stupidest, hilarious shit I ever seen. And it's like some things just don't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know the one character. So when they landed on the island,
Yes.
like there was just a guy sitting in the seat. He just it's just throw on himself.
Uh-huh.
Then he went woo, got taken out. Ah, he's breaking my neck. He broke my neck. He broke my neck.
Yeah.
And then he just got stomped out, and then he got stomped to death, smashed head and everything. Seconds later, woo! He's just like, what is going on? Like things like that where I'm just like, I don't understand any of this shit.
Yeah. It wasn't until like after season 2, I think, where he started putting more into a linear kind of story.
Yeah.
Whereas the first like season and season 2 probably were kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
With random stuff. But overall still had the kind of like the chumas, like the yellow things were kind of the overarching story. But after that it gets more kind of like cohesive and stuff like that. But so you seen like the first kind of like the first 2 seasons, stuff like that? Okay.
So I think it's funny. If you're just looking for a stupid good laugh, I think people should watch it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's like, excuse me, I'm not ashamed to say that. I think it's the greatest little like show.
Like a small series?
Like a small series.
Oh, yeah, by far. I think it's one of the best.
Ever been done, you know? I would have loved it to continue, but I think it ends so perfectly. And I don't know. There's something about like the fact that it's such like shitty quality.
It makes it so good.
So good. The quality gets better.
I think that's why it makes it so much funnier, because when they're talking shit to each other, it's just like the talking.
Yeah.
The comebacks of everything, or just like the fast, like when prison, I think it was season 2 when they're all in prison. And Clarence is like, "Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey, guys, I'm here too."
It's like, what the fuck, Clarence? Like, nobody's Clarence. Shh, big boys are talking. Shut up. Oh, he's
like, "But guys, I know how to get. God damn it, shut the fuck up."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm just really." Or when he goes back to the drug of remembering shit, it's just like, it's just funny. Or when he's in the club after he remembers what's happening, or when Les is in the club.
Yeah.
And then he takes the drink.
Oh, yeah.
And he's outside. He's just like, holy shit, freaking out, throwing up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why. I thought it was just fucking hilarious when the guy was like, "You looking at me?" He's like, "What?" It's like, "Hey, you looking at me? That means we got to fight. That means we're going to it just pops his ass." And that's it. And I just started busting out laughing. And I'm just like, how? It's like, you would think you would keep on being like, "No, what the fuck is wrong with you?" No, he just went, clack, that's it. Knocked his ass out.
Yeah, because he was remembering because Clarence was telling him, he's like, I tried to tell you, you know, that, like, about the island and this and that. He's like, "No, fuck Clarence, no, you didn't." It's like, but.
I don't know. And then just a little bit, the little shots that get thrown, or when Sassy the Sasquatch, I can't say Sasquatch. He's just calling everyone a fucking drugger.
He's like, "You fucking drugger."
And then when Donnie, he was like, "Yeah, Les, you fucking drugger." He's like, "Hey, that's my thing. Don't fucking say."
There's I think it's in like season 3 or season 4. You'll get to it. Me telling you isn't gonna ruin it.
Yeah,
because it's hilarious.
Yeah,
there's a scene where Donnie's handing out lines, like not even lines, just keys of you know, and he's giving them to everybody. Everybody's going up there. "You know, I heard you giving out, you know, bumps." He's like, "Yeah, man, you want one?" They're like, "Yeah." And then Sus Man's like, "You fucking drugger." He's like, and then Donnie's like, "Sus Man?" He's like, "Yeah, bro." takes the fucking hit.
It's like it's just things like that. It's just, I don't know why it's funny to see people do drugs. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I don't know why it's funny to see Sasquatches doing fucking drugs, but it's hilarious.
There's season 3, I think, or it's probably season 4. there's a clip, there's a scene where Les is on the edge of like a train, and he's like fucked up, and the shit he's saying is fucking hilarious. Like I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah.
But
you like the things that they say are just funny, or it's like the things that they say you're just like, I would totally fucking say that if that was real. But, or like when Les and his son were on the roller coaster, and Les was just screaming the whole time, and then right when they got out, the kid's like, pussy. He's just like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. Calls him a pussy right away.
Did you get to the part? I think you've already seen the clip, but did you get to the episode yet where he's in the basement and
no, not yet.
No, okay. Oh, so fun. Like watching the full clip is so funny. But
I don't know, man. That show is fucking great. I love it. It's for being a small series, greatest fucking show ever.
Yeah, it's
fucking hilarious.
Great.
It's like I said, I see the way I like people at work that I talk shit to, or with amongst us friends. It's like that's exactly how we talk shit. It's just some guy literally putting lots of people's minds right onto a fucking show.
It's great. And then I love Clarence, but I love when he gets like when they shit talked. And he's like, "Oh, these negative words are hurting my nervous system."
It's a great fucking show.
But it's great.
The Big Les on YouTube. Please
and
watch
he flips out a couple episodes too.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's great.
I gotta see this.
But yeah, definitely guys, go watch it. I'm probably gonna rewatch it. Just like
I see myself just rewatching it just for random shit. But let's get into the movie.
Yeah, let's get into the movie. So spoilers, guys.
Big spoilers.
Thunderbolts that just came out this Friday that passed. So if you guys haven't watched the movie, pause the episode, go out and watch it, come back, and let's talk about the movie. Okay, so you've been warned. We are gonna get into spoilers and everything.
Peace. All right then.
All right. So you just saw it.
Just saw it.
Less than 2 hours ago.
Yep.
I saw it last night.
Like it or hate it?
I think it's the biggest piece. No, it's not.
Oh damn.
I give it a thumbs up. I enjoyed the movie.
I really enjoyed
the movie. It's far superior to fucking Captain America, the Brave New World, the one that just came out.
Okay. Wow, that yeah, I could understand it. I haven't seen it, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, like I was telling Fernando, I was like, I would watch this one again.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely.
I'm like, if
this is like a Infinity War kind of a Civil War thing, that if it's on, I'm gonna go straight to watching it. Yeah,
you'll watch it. Excuse me. Like if Captain America, like you haven't seen Captain America yet, right? The new one, the one with
no,
right? Excuse me. Fuck that.
Yeah, I know.
Disclosure: if y'all get that root beer,
yeah, if you have like a pussy ass stomach like him, you gonna burp.
It says the lactose intolerant motherfucker.
I know, right?
But I was telling her like, I wouldn't have gone to go see that again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would have if you didn't have anyone to go with and you were like, let's go watch the movie because you haven't seen it. I would have gone with you, but I wouldn't have been excited to go watch the movie again. This one, like if you would have said Diana can't go, you want to go watch it, I would have been like, fuck yeah, let's go watch it. I want to watch it again, kind of thing. So I give it in a very much thumbs up.
Yeah, for sure. I give it a big thumbs up.
Yeah.
I really, really, really enjoyed it. They kept it on the store. It was like, there was like what 2-3 different stories kind of happening, but kept them. They finished all the stories.
Yeah,
which was like
This was very much a Yelena movie.
Yeah,
she was very, very much the lead. Of this movie, and she did a great job.
Yeah. She's gorgeous.
Yeah,
gorgeous girl too.
Before we get into too many details, I do want to say one negative about the movie, and this doesn't even really have to do with the movie. And I have negatives that I'll get into in the spoilers, but if you guys are still here because you guys are don't give a fuck about spoilers and you haven't seen the movie yet, if you haven't seen Hawkeye, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or Black Widow,
Yeah.
you're gonna be a little lost.
Yes, and no.
Yeah,
Because I haven't seen Hawkeye or Black Widow, but I still knew. I guess because of everything I've seen,
Yeah,
I still knew
and
enough.
we've talked about them enough.
I still knew enough on who they were and basically why they were there.
Yeah, because like, she wasn't lost, but throughout the movie, she's like, "Who's her sister?"
Yeah,
you know, because she kept referring to like, "My sister died. My sister died." Da, da, da. I'm like, "Oh, that's Natasha's sister. That's Black Widow's sister." She's like, "Oh, okay. Who's this Walmart Captain America motherfucker?" I'm like, "Oh, that's
yeah,
so and so." So like, if you guys haven't seen those, I wouldn't recommend you go watch them, but do a little bit of research on who these people are.
You could honestly watch this, enjoy the movie really, really well.
Yeah.
And then go back to just watch these.
For sure, you don't need any real background on who these people are.
Yeah, it'll kind of just do the whole. Oh, okay. Oh, that's who that person is.
Yeah.
And then they kind of said a couple of things, like when they said that Captain America, it's like, oh, you bashed somebody's head in broad daylight, right?
Right, yeah. Which
some innocent. He was like, well, is it really innocent?
Like he was a terrorist or whatever. Yeah.
Kind of. So it's like little things like that. But like I said, they don't make they
don't lose anything for the movie. You know, not knowing those things will not take anything away from the movie.
Who I didn't know was the other chick with the shield.
Oh, yeah. That was Taskmaster.
That was Taskmaster?
I think so. I think she was in Black Widow, which I didn't see.
Okay. So I didn't know who she was, but as soon as she got killed, I'm like, okay, cool. I don't need to know who she is. So I'm like, okay, cool.
So she dies. She dies like the first less than 15 minutes into the movie or whatever.
Because the Taskmaster, from what I know, is they have the hoodie. No, that's sorry. No, yeah, they have the hood and all that shit with the shield, kind of like they're almost like Batman's villains.
Yeah. She's supposed to be really it's supposed to be a he, but they turned into she anyways.
Yeah, so
it's supposed to be really strong and really good fighter. She got taken out.
She got rocked
quick. Motherfucker showed up, boom.
Yeah,
but you go ahead before we get into anything else.
Oh, well, I'm gonna start going into the movie.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So, like I said, I like the movie. I like how they kind of said. I think why they gave it to Elena, for her to be the main person to watch, because they kind of had to give it to someone to be main.
Yeah.
And for her to be the main person of this, I liked it. I enjoyed her character. Really good actor. Funny as hell. Everyone was all funny. They all it wasn't a forced funny either. It was like they're just literally talking to each other and just like
throwing jabs.
Yeah. Which is great. I'm like, I like that about the movie.
Because it worked.
Yeah, me and Dana were laughing our asses off on some of the jokes, and I'm just kind of those things.
Yeah.
But man, it was like, she's, like I said, a good fighter. The fighting, great.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed all the fighting they did. Like I said, she's gorgeous too. Yeah. So you can't really take that away.
The movie had a lot of heart. It was very mental health-esque.
Yeah.
You know, and they dove deep into it, you know.
I'm glad they kind of went to that.
Yeah, because she's struggling a lot still, and they talk about that. And then with Bob, you know.
Yeah, he's all fucked up.
He's all fucked up, not knowing what's going on, and she helps him a lot.
Then you kind of see what happened with his childhood.
And at the end, you know, they're all fucked up individuals, you know, that, you know, aren't supposed to be working together, but in some weird capacity, it almost works.
Yeah.
You know? That bitch, what was her name? Veronica, Vanessa? I don't know what the fuck.
Which one?
The one that was pitting them against each other. The one that.
Oh, Elaine?
Was that her name?
No.
I don't know.
She was Elaine from Seinfeld.
Oh.
That's why I'm like, Elaine.
Right,
yeah. Man, for her being whatever age she is, she still looks good.
She looked good. But fuck, she was pissing me off. Like, there's a scene at the end where, what the fuck is his name? The Russian one. The one in the red. I know
Red.
his name. Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. There you go.
Where he's like, I'm going to kill her now. He's like,
I'm going to go to kill her. I love him as an actor in Stranger Things. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen Stranger Things.
Fucking great actor in that too.
So let's we're all over the place. Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Then. I enjoyed it. It kind of starts off with Yelena giving her little
her story.
Her story about how she's kind of just going through the motions of every day, just going to work, clocking in, clocking out.
Yeah.
She's a Black Widow. She's working for that chick, and she's just going out and pretty much killing people. Right. She's like a mercenary. And then you find out that she's, in the lab, and she's actually there for the Sentry Project.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be destroying the whole thing or whatever. It was a great scene, great fight.
Yep.
And then, she gets out, she blows up the place.
Blows it up.
Right.
Yeah. Then it goes to then it goes to where she goes and meets her father.
Right. Who again, like, very relatable to a lot of people. Like, he's in a funk as well. He's not happy with where he is. His place is a fucking pigsty.
All he does is drive people around.
Which is hilarious. And then, she goes there to have like a heart-to-heart with him and tell him, she wants to quit. And he's like, I want to fucking work with her. Like, I'm not happy. I'm not doing anything.
I thought you said you were full. Look at me. I look like shit. Well, yeah. So, and like you said, it keeps into this is like, if you're really, really dark and fucked up, you're going to probably lose your shit in one of these scenes.
Right.
Not going to lie. Because there was at some point, I'm just like, damn.
Makes shit real.
I feel y'all. I feel y'all. But it kept with the heart-to-heart thing. It kept you into where it's like, man, like, where's it going to come next? Where is it going to go next? Kind of thing. And then it started with her basically walking outside asking for the next mission.
Yeah. So then they go to like that big like compound with all their stuff is. And it was funny. I kind of liked it because like everyone's after everyone else kind of, like he's there. She's there for Ghost.
Okay, so she was there for Ghost.
She was there for Ghost. I didn't know
who she was for.
So she was there for Ghost. Ghost was there for Taskmaster. Taskmaster was there for
Captain America.
Yeah, Walmart Captain America. Walmart Captain America was there for Yelena.
Yeah.
So everyone was kind of like after everyone else. So then you have them all fighting, and then you have someone trying to protect someone else because they're after their target, like, like everyone's target's kind of after someone else. Yeah,
they were like all after each other, but all protecting each other too. It was weird.
Because like, she's not gonna let someone else kind of die, but they're not gonna let them kill their target type thing.
Yeah, so it was just a big, weird, funny,
great scene, seeing everyone kind of use their abilities and use their things.
Mm-hmm. So Ghost was the only one who got her kill.
Yeah, she's the only one that got her kill.
And that's when Bob came into it.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, hey guys!" Like,
I'm sorry, but the way he started coughing, the water in his throat kind of thing, I thought it was somebody in the theater. I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? And then I realized, oh shit, it's in the movie. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess because we were on the Super DXL.
Oh, okay, like the sound one and stuff like that.
So I was like, it sounded like it was coming from next to us. I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
Was there a lot of people in your theater? No,
not at all. I think like 10 people, 10, maybe 15 people. There was a lot of people for Sinners watching that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, damn, okay. Hey.
Yeah.
Must be a really good movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
So they're all in there trying to figure out what the fuck is going on and stuff like that.
The fight scene between them.
Fight scene
was fucking great.
It was great. It's peak. The thing I like, this is a nitpick. A lot of the complaints I have are nitpicks, which just shows how good this movie is.
Mm-hmm.
One of the nitpicks I have is that, like, there's a lot of scenes that show just how strong a super soldier is.
Yeah.
Super strong. Very strong.
Yeah.
Right? You're telling me that Yelena doing this and shocking him is going to stop him from piercing a blade into her? Like, when they were still fighting against each other, and, he's, like, trying to push down the blade while she's shocking him at the same time. So,
Yeah. I think maybe that's what stopped him.
The shocking?
From the whole full power. As she was shocking him, that's when he was just like, because the shock did help do something.
The shock was hurting him and helping, but there's other scenes where you see just how strong he is. There's a literal scene in that fight where he punches her and she flies like 20 feet.
Yeah.
You're telling me that a little, I mean, it's not a little shock, but a shock is going to put your strength pretty much on par. Almost.
Because he was going to get her, but.
You know, she was more skilled fighter.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's like little nitpicks like that where I'm just like,
yeah.
You're kind of being inconsistent with the way that you guys are.
I understand.
Doing these
I understand.
Things. Another thing that doesn't drive me crazy, but like it's also kind of like a little nitpick. Does every shield in the Marvel Cinematic Universe just bounce off things because they don't all have vibranium shields?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
They were all fucking throwing it and it was bouncing and all this and that. Like,
yeah. Well, there was only 2 shields. The Taskmaster's and his.
Which I don't think either one is vibranium. But that's 3 shields now, including Captain America's that just bounce. Yeah. Like,
I don't know. Hey, I don't know what their shields are.
What kind of physics are they working with over there?
But then again, Taskmaster ain't using hers anymore.
It's just a nitpick.
I feel you.
Overall, I love that scene. And then they figure out, you know.
Yeah, they get out. They figure out
that she's trying to like kill all of them because at the end of the day, they're a liability.
Yeah. You know? She was basically getting rid of the shit that could get her in jail, prison time.
So, you know, they make it out. They get to that big ass tunnel, and again, showing just how strong a super soldier is. He jumps like 500 feet in the air.
Yeah,
off nothing, just boom.
Which was dope. And I was just dope. Like, okay. Oh, I didn't know that, but all right.
It was a good 500 feet he jumped. Something like that. You know, minimum 200.
Yeah.
But he was, boom, you know. But then came crashing, landing back down.
Hard, too.
And then Bob, I have an idea.
Oh.
You know. But before we even get to that, there's the scene where he touches Yelena.
Yeah. Oh, and after the explosion, yeah.
They start showing kind of like the void thing in him, where like it shows you pretty much your like your darkest moments, and brings you back there, kind of slowly building up to what's gonna happen later on down the line. And I kind of liked how they did that, you know, because even if you don't have no idea of anything about Sentry or Void, which I don't have a lot of knowledge,
I didn't know a lot. I didn't know, so I know of him, but I didn't know that it was gonna be that.
Yeah.
So that kind of got me.
So it was kind of good that, you know, they did that, bringing it in and stuff like that, slowly building up to what happens.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
they all worked together.
They all worked together to get to the top, which was hilarious because there was 4 of them, so they kind of joined back to back. You know, all backs, and they're going up with their feet. Which
talking
I want to know
shit to each other basically
the whole time. The scene was great. It was hilarious. Then they get out or whatever. You know, they're trying to escape, which again was a great scene of them fighting and trying to work together and all this and that. And then we get our first look at Bob.
Yeah. His powers, basically.
Like, he's so just like, he's like a lost puppy, you know, the whole time.
Yeah.
Kind of, because he's so lost, he doesn't really remember a lot of stuff. And then they air him out.
He takes it like a G, though.
Yep.
Which was dope.
He falls. Boop. Just gets back up.
Yeah.
Just takes off and
flies up and then just comes crashing the fuck down.
And the whole time, you know, they're escaping.
Oh, and it shows it shows when Bob, basically, when they're all trying to get out of the little tunnel, it shows Bob grabbing Captain America's hand and basically showing him his little void too.
Yeah.
So that shows another part of the darkness that he could show you.
Him and his wife fighting and stuff like that.
So I'm like, okay. So that's when I started realizing, I'm like, okay, so this, obviously he's the villain. And I'm like, so let's see what is it going to be?
Right.
What are they going to make this a villain-wise?
I think they showed everybody's dark side. Well, no, it's just them two.
It's just them two. Chick. Yeah. Because they didn't show Ghost. Obviously, she's just fucking locked in the cage.
Right. And they didn't show Bucky's either or whatever. or the other guy. Anyways.
Well, yeah. Well, we know. I think because we know Bucky's and we know Ghosts kind of thing.
Right. But so then, morning comes and fucking Red Guardian comes on his fucking limousine.
Dude, that was funny when she was just like, "Oh fuck, let me like she's gonna cover her whole face."
Right.
And he's just screaming loud as fucking
They're
coming to kill you. Don't go into the vault.
like, you're late as
hell,
bro.
But it was great. It was great. I love that scene.
It was funny because, like, he says he drove the entire way there. From like DC to I don't know what state they were in, but they were still in the States. Drove all the fuck there. They're escaping. He's like, "Don't worry, this car is bulletproof." Starts getting blasted. Bulletproof-ish. Starts flipping the switches and turns into like a fucking nightclub.
Who do you drive in here?
Like, all the little jokes and everything worked.
Yeah.
It wasn't like fucking Love and Thunder where they beat the joke to death.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the jokes felt like if you were talking, basically. Yeah. Like if people were talking, but like in a funny way.
And then in comes Bucky.
Fucking hilarious with that whole little scene. Like, Bucky did look low key like Terminator 2. Looking gangsta as hell.
On his little bike.
Yeah.
Fucking everything up, blowing shit up. And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, all excited.
It's like, dude's like, Bucky's here. Dude's like, the Winter Soldier's here. He throws the bomb on their car.
Throws the bomb. And he's like, oh, shit. Boom. Which was great. Like I said, I'm like, it's funny.
Yeah.
That little things like that, it makes the movie
like
funny. It's where you're just like, that was a funny scene. That was cool. It was a dope ass fight scene right there. Or a little action scene
or whatever.
But it ended with the ha.
Right.
Like those like ha-has are good. That's what makes the money forced.
Good. It was just it felt nice.
Yeah.
And then he locks them up, he ties them up and shit like that. And they're trying to explain to him excuse me, it feels like a bunch of kids when they're trying to tell their parents that something happened, kind of.
Yeah.
And then they're never gonna believe. Like, no, I swear, like, we saw the ghost and it took the kids and like, it sounds crazy, but like, please, you gotta believe me. And he's just like, oh yeah, really? He's like, Bob flew up and and then he just fell.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, so you guys are, and then the fucking assistant calls him, tells him everything. He's like, Bob, huh? They're like, Bob.
I love how the Red Guardian. Yeah. I love how his just like, yes, that's what we've been trying to tell him the whole time. I love his little smart remarks.
His little things.
I guess because he's the older guy, and it's just like, God, what the fuck is wrong with this guy, kind of thing.
So they all decide, they're gonna work together and stuff like that. I thought the picking, of their name Thunderbolts was stupid.
Yeah.
But I think it worked for what it was because it was supposed to be kind of like a funny moment and like a little jab at Yelena. Yeah. Like, oh, you named your team after your little soccer team that never won anything. I thought it was funny, but I thought it was stupid at the same time.
It was stupid how they got it, but like I said, it's one of those moments you're like, it's funny. It's funny how y'all got it.
Yeah. So they, they all kind of decide they're gonna work together. What else happened? Okay, they
get that's when Bucky lets them out,
right?
And then they basically go. They're in a truck in New York or wherever they're at. Yeah, New York.
New York.
They run right into the
building.
Into Watchtower, basically.
Yeah, another little funny part from that was when they were both in the front seat, like Red Guardian and Bucky. He's like, oh, so what kind of super soldier serum did you get?
The Hydra one.
Like, regular Hydra? I don't know. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I got something similar, but, Russian or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, me and you were kind of like the same. He's like,
we're the co-leaders?
He's like, same, but different, He's like, you drive, you get tired, I drive. He's like, I don't get tired. He's like, it's just a metaphor.
Yeah, I don't want to drive. I don't want to fucking drive. Which is great.
But the whole time, the leader is fucking Yelena. Like, she's in charge. Like,
oh, yeah.
Even, like, in those little scenes where, like, a decision has to be made, kind of, and everyone kind of just looks at her for the nod. Because you could tell Bucky's trying to take charge.
Yeah, you could tell, but you could also tell that they already followed Elena.
Yeah.
They were already like, no, well, she's kind of like the person.
Yeah. Like you could tell he was making the decisions, but for the final call, they looked at her.
Yeah.
And when she get the nod, that's when they kind of did what they were gonna do and stuff like that. Not that Bucky necessarily wanted to be in charge, but
Yeah, no, I understand.
So they
again
they get there.
They run into the watchtower.
Like, what's the plan?
Oh yeah, that was great.
The plan? Boom! Straight into the fucking thing.
And I'm like, okay, all right, well, let's see how this goes. Again, the fight scene between that shit, great fight scene. Yeah. I love how they panned the camera to everyone to take out like 4 or 5 people, and it was just, I'm like, man, this is like a superhero movie again. This feels cool. Yeah. This feels good. And then she just started like, God damn, I just put that drywall up, guys. I left the door open. The door's
open for you guys. God.
And then they just drop everyone, basically.
Bucky just knocks him out. So they go upstairs. And all this is taking place now on, like you said, the Avengers Tower.
Yeah.
Formal Avengers Tower. Same one where the Hulk
smashed Loki and stuff
like that.
Yeah.
So they get up there. Now this is where I get to some of the parts that I wasn't a huge fan of.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into the negatives behind it, we get up there and she's explaining kind of like her plan.
Yeah.
And then Sentry comes down.
Yeah.
In his suit now, his blonde hair and everything like that. And she starts kind of explaining everything, and they start trying to kind of reason with him.
Yeah.
And I did like, that like it shows just how strong he is.
Yeah.
Just how powerful he is.
It basically made it. They made you see how strong he was.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
He was taking them out like nothing.
Yeah. He was like a fucking Superman, basically. Yeah. A Superman with like mind powers.
Yeah. He is kind of like their equivalent to their Superman. But it was great. Everyone's trying to fight him, and then you see Bucky like, all right, fuck this. Takes off his jacket. He's like, I'm ready.
Look, low key, I'm like, damn, I like to look like that kind of right there. That shit, motherfucker was swole.
Yeah. And he just got manhandled. Like,
took off his arm.
I think he was gonna break the arm.
I thought so too, but he just went. He's
like, let me just take this motherfucker off. Threw it at him.
And he still threw it at them. Like, go ahead, get out of here.
Yeah. And then that's when he starts turning into like, why the fuck would I listen to you? You know? Like, I'm a god. Like,
she even said, like, you throwing that god word loosely. He's like, well, you compared me to the Avengers, and there's at least one god. And I'm just like, wait, who? Fucking quick thought him Thor is on there. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that is true. That is very, very true.
Now, the thing about that scene that I didn't necessarily like was that was all we got of Sentry.
Yeah.
It was like less than a 5-minute scene.
But remember, the movie was only 2 hours.
Yeah, but
they fit a lot into it without fitting a lot into it.
They did fit a lot into it.
Without making it feel like, oh, this was like, they should have made it a longer movie kind of thing.
I think it was just because I didn't watch a lot of the trailers, but from the trailers that I did see, they made it seem like he was a big part of the movie.
Yeah.
And he was as Bob, but I expected a lot more from Sentry. I thought that it was going to be Sentry versus like the Void.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there were 2 different people.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we were going to see them go head to head or whatever. But, we didn't get that. That was okay. That was just something that I was kind of disappointed in. Like, that we only got, like, less than 5 minutes of seeing
the Sentry.
The Sentry. Just for him to be kind of taken out.
Yeah. When he becomes the Void, though, that shit was... I'm sorry. When he starts taking people out through the shadow thing, and then the plane crashes, the yellow crane thing falls down. And my first thought was, I'm like, damn, there ain't nobody super to save anything. So let's see what happens, how they do.
Right.
Everything starts falling down. Thunderbolts start saving everyone, which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right, because remember, they have 3 super soldiers on them.
Yeah. So they start saving a lot of cool things. I'm like, man, this is all cool. And then it gets to the part where a big ass rock is about to fall on the little girl.
Oh yeah.
Red Guardian saves her, and then just boom.
He's like, "You're okay, little girl."
I started laughing my ass off
Really?
during that. I was like, "Oh shit!" Not loud, but I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, and I look at them, I'm like, I can't believe they just did that to a little girl like this. I'm like, I like this movie. I'm like, yes. I'm like, good, funny as hell.
Yeah, I like that they did that because it was like a shock.
Yeah,
You know, you expected he saves her, she's gonna be okay. Then, poof,
which,
she's
like I said, it was
gone.
fucking hilarious.
Another scene. Okay, so another little nitpick
Mhm.
that again, they're showing just how strong all these super soldiers are, right? And just right before that scene, Bucky saves. I think it's like a woman. There's like a sprinter van coming towards them. He knocks it out with his arm.
Yeah.
You know, flies. It does like 5 flips.
I think he does. Okay, I want to see what you said. I was about to say, like, he kind of momentum it. He kind of like did it like it's gonna hit, go over him kind of thing.
Yeah, but still, that's
with momentum.
That thing's coming at you 40 miles. That's about fucking 3,000-4,000 pounds, and it doesn't even budge him. You know, he's able to knock it off, and it flies like 10 feet, 20
like I
feet,
said,
or whatever.
Momentum.
But still, it does that, right? Showing just how strong one of them is. But then there's that big like concrete piece from the building that's probably about 7 feet tall by like 10 feet wide or whatever, and it took all 5 of them to lift that thing up. Well, there's 3 super soldiers on that fucking thing. You're telling me that they couldn't pick that up?
I guess I don't know. I hear it as a nitpick, but I'm just like,
Steve Rogers literally held the helicopter trying to fly away with his fucking arms, and you're telling me they can't.
But I think Steve Rogers had a better syndrome.
No, he had the same serum as well. I don't know. They were probably, but still, like you've got these, 3.
I could hear you, but like the Red Guardian was the generic. Hydra was the second part of it, and even what's his name, the new Captain America got like a small doses of what Steve Rogers Captain America got.
But still, even just after that scene when Red Guardian saves the little girl, a similar thing falls on him. It's probably about half the size of the one they're trying to lift up, but it just breaks right on his back, and he's not phased at all. So it's kind of the inconsistencies here.
I could understand it, but I feel you on that
because he was, the fucking gas station Captain America was struggling, you know, and then I think Yelena came and tried to help, and then Ghost, and then Bucky, and then Red Guardian, and then finally they got it up.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know how heavy this fucking thing was, but you're flipping cars like nothing, and you can't fucking pick this thing up. That was just kind of like I don't know. I
guess
something that kind of just
overall picked.
Just a little nitpick,
But no, I still like the movie. It keeps on going to where it gets in basically the void. Elena walks into the void to see how she could stop it from the inside, hopefully. And then she basically finds herself in his mind.
Yeah.
After going through,
because it takes her through
after going through her like dark shit. She finally connects to him.
Oh, before we get into that, like the way they had the void, he looked fucking awesome.
All blacked out.
That just with dope. The eyes.
Yeah. I wish they would have made the eyes a little bit brighter.
Yeah.
But other than that,
it was
pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So like you said, she's in there, trying to connect with him and stuff like that. And then again, showing the heartfeltness of like them and the team and sticking together, they all go in there.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think they were gonna do that. They pretty much finally break through to him.
Yeah.
And I like that the way they broke through to him wasn't by him beating the void.
Yeah.
Fighting, because he was, but that's what he wanted, because then he was just going to take over the void.
Mm-hmm.
The way they handled it, and he gained control, was pretty much showing him that he's not alone.
Yeah.
That they're here for him, that these thoughts that he has in his head of, being a nobody, and that
Yep.
nobody ever is gonna love him, and he's a loser, and that he's always gonna be alone. They showed him that, like, that's not true,
Yeah.
and that they're here for him.
Yeah.
When the lady just went and hugged him, and then
Another thing adding to that, Diana made a good observation of it, of the whole, it wasn't a lovey-dovey thing. It was just Elena being a good person to somebody
it wasn't
else.
like they were like they
Like
tried
there
to
was no kiss thing.
right.
It was
They
just
weren't
like,
trying to give them any like romantic stuff.
yeah, it was just straight like, no, this is me being a good person to you. And I'm just like, I didn't catch that, but I'm like, that's good. They didn't do the whole like, oh, romance is what makes it all better. No, it's being a good person to somebody else that needs it. And then
being that the Captain America person was being such a dick to him the entire movie, and being like the second one to go and like comfort him, you know, like, we're here.
Yeah.
And then everybody going.
Just dope.
And then he wakes up, everything kind of goes back to normal.
Yeah. Have no idea what the fuck is happening.
I still want to know where the fuck Daredevil falls into place here, because this all happened in New York, and it happened within the entire. They show the exploded view of the entire city,
right,
being blacked out. So
let's see what happens with that.
What the fuck happened? Where does this take place?
Right.
Anyways, and then we get to that scene where we're talking about where Red Guardian's like, I'm gonna kill this bitch now.
Yeah. Which is the end, basically the end.
Pretty much the end of the movie.
She basically announces.
Oh, yeah, she sets them up. She goes
sets
to
them up to announce what the cameras and all that. The
film crew's there.
Yeah.
She's like,
the new Avengers.
Yeah, there was a threat.
Yeah.
This is my team or whatever. And that's why there's an asterisk on Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
If you notice, there's like a little star, because they are the new Avengers now.
Yeah.
So, they accept it, pretty much telling her, you're our bitch now.
Yeah.
And
it basically just ends there.
And it kind of just ends there, Is that that's the end?
That's the ending, yeah.
Yeah, right. It just fades.
It just goes into the credits. The first credit kind of really means nothing.
Yeah, it means nothing. It's a callback to earlier in the movie when
he wants to be on
the Wheaties box.
The Wheaties, yeah.
And
then it goes to the second one,
which is the more important.
So
first there's a time jump.
Yeah,
it's a year and a half later, pretty much.
Yeah, 14 months.
15 months or something.
Yeah, 14 months it said.
Whatever. And they're the new Avengers still currently. I liked if you noticed in the credits before you get there, it's showing all the newspaper clippings.
Yeah,
and it's like B Avengers, and it's like not my Avengers, and it's just talking shit about them, talking shit about Captain America.
It's really talking shit about all of them.
There's a one where it shows him riding his bent shield, like
like a horse.
Yeah, like a horse. Oh, that was like really funny, but I like that they kind of did that because there is a time jump.
Yeah,
and it kind of shows that people aren't really accepting that this is the new team or whatever. And they do like the little conversation exchange where they ask Bucky, have you spoke to Sam? Because Sam at the end of his movie, the Captain America movie, he's tasked with restarting the Avengers again.
Oh, okay.
So, now they're the Avengers, so they have the name. So there's that kind of conflict there.
But he filed to get the name taken away. Yeah.
Yeah, like he filed like a copyright claim for the name. And then Red Guardian's like, we'll be the Avengers with a Z.
Yeah. It sounds more masculine, more better.
So it was cool. I liked all their suits that they showed when they were right there. And then it shows clearly pretty much that Elena's the leader.
Yeah.
But Bucky's the one with the most experience.
Yeah.
He's already lived that, so she's kind of looking at him for a little bit of guidance.
Yeah. Which is cool. I accept that.
Yeah. Especially with like the with their software person, when she's trying to get like the image, and he's like, ask her for this.
Yeah.
She's like, oh,
I was gonna say that. Let me say it. Yeah.
And then they see. Go ahead.
They see the Fantastic Four. I'm assuming the Fantastic Four from the new Fantastic Four movie Has to be.
Yeah.
So now seeing the Fantastic Four coming, basically saying that something's gonna happen to the
So
Fantastic Four world,
where they're going to end up in
and
this world.
so they're gonna
over
go
here.
from what world?
I don't know.
What is it? World 10 to basically World 1.
Right. Or
Earth
whatever.
1. Sorry,
Yeah.
Earth 10 to Earth 1. And now I'm kind of excited to see what they do with that in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I mean, I already knew they were going to show up in the main
Mm-hmm.
like Marvel
Yeah.
world. Because I keep up a little bit more
Yeah.
with everything. So I already knew that, this Fantastic Four takes place on a different world.
Yeah.
But by the end, they're going to end up over here. But I wasn't expecting them to show already that. With meaning that, like, the Fantastic Four movie takes place, obviously it takes place in a different world, but, like, the timeline of it is going to take place before or during those 15 months. And then it's going to end at the current time that they're at, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which is cool, and which I like, because now we kind of know where you're at on the timeline.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, we haven't known where the fuck they are on the timeline for the
I think
last-
that's why this was one of the better movies, because now it's giving us a direction to look into.
Yeah.
And not just like how the
Right.
shows have been just like everywhere, and you're just like, where the fuck is this person if that was happening? Or like the whole building just fell. Where the fuck are these other people?
And
nothing's connecting in every single show. So I think that's why people love this one, because
and it's not it's a post-credit scene that will actually have a payoff.
Yeah.
And kind of directly ties into the future.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, all these fucking useless ass post-credit scenes that we've been getting.
Yep.
The post-credit scene in Captain America was fucking pointless. The post-credit scene in Thor: Love and Thunder with Hercules was fucking pointless.
Yeah. Because they're not doing
They're
nothing
not
with
doing
any of
anything
this.
with it. The post-credit scene from Doctor Strange, where he goes off with that girl when he gets a third eye, was fucking pointless.
Yeah. There's a lot of pointless things where it's just like, what the fuck? Well, okay, cool. So what are you going to do with it?
Right.
Nothing's happening with it. But now with the Thunderbolts one, we know something's going to be coming out of that, because
we're going to get Fantastic Four right now, which directly leads into the ending of this movie, which is going to then I think the next movie that comes out is Doomsday, I think. So it finally feels like there's some kind of connective tissue, whereas before it just felt like everything was all over the place.
Yeah.
No,
I'm liking it. Like I said, I love this movie. This was a good movie.
Yeah.
I can't wait until it comes out.
Right. I'm not ready to say that Marvel's back.
No. But they're in the right direction.
They're in the right direction with this
I could
one.
say that.
And I think I could be wrong. And I'm sure someone will tell me if I'm wrong. I think this is the first movie where Kevin Feige was actually back in control.
Nice. Okay.
Because I think Captain America was still being done when the old CEO was there. And then when he came back, they retooled a lot of the stuff, but there was only so much that you could do.
Yeah.
For a movie that's already pretty much completed.
Yeah.
And I think this was the first movie that's come out since he's gotten his control back.
Mm-hmm.
This and Daredevil, I believe, which Daredevil was also really good.
But he could only do so much, as we talked.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping Fantastic Four is great.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping Doomsday is also great.
I'm hoping Doomsday is amazing. I'm hoping it's the next Infinity War Endgame kind of thing.
But if the Fantastic Four is not good, I don't know that I have high hopes for
I'm hoping. I think it will be. I think I was excited to see Thunderbolts, and I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah.
This movie kind of got me excited to see what they're coming out with next.
Yeah, because
it got my interest back.
Okay. Yeah, because I went into this movie expecting it to be shit, hoping to like it.
Yeah.
And walking out thinking it was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So I honestly have no expectations for Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, I don't know if I'm not walking in there or leading into it thinking like
This is gonna be a great movie.
this
kind of
is
thing.
going to be great, or thinking it's going to be bad. You know, I have no thoughts on it right now.
I understand that.
Besides, I'm excited to see it,
Right.
and I think the trailers have looked good.
Yeah.
But we have a bad history with Fantastic Four.
Let's see what happens.
So
let's see if they could go 2 for 2 right now.
Yeah, let's see if we get 2 in a row. I'm not counting Daredevil, you know, because again, that was
It was good. It was an enjoyable show, but it has its
right.
But like I said, Thunderbolts was a good movie. I highly recommend people go see it.
I think you guys should go watch it.
It was a really good movie. It'll get you, like I said, it'll get you excited for Marvel movies again.
Yeah, which we haven't been for a very long time. I think that if they do nail the Fantastic Four, maybe I'll be ready to say that they're kind of back. You know,
like I said, I don't know. Maybe after the Fantastic Four, maybe if they could go 3 for 3, because as of right now, I'm gonna see 2 for 2, and then I could say that they're really in the right direction. I want to see Doomsday because they could fuck it up with Doomsday. So I want to see Doomsday, and after Doomsday, then I could say like Marvel, you're back. You're actually doing something good shit now. So
yeah, and the same thing goes for like DC. When Superman comes out, and if it's great,
it'll be a good one for one.
A good one for one. I'm not ready to say DC's back.
Right.
You know,
DC did fall hard.
They fell. You know, fell from grace.
Right.
But if they knock that one out, and if they knock Supergirl out, and then they knock the Lanterns series out, then I'll be ready to say they're back.
Yes.
You know, obviously we had the Batman, but it's not connected to that, which was great. We had the Penguin, which again is not connected to that world, but it's great. We had Creature Commandos, which is connected to it,
which is pretty good. I enjoyed it.
You know, but if they knock out these 3 live action projects and they're all good, I think we're back.
Yeah,
I think we're back. The great comic book movies, which we haven't had in a long time.
Comic book movies, but
now all we need is Star Wars to get off their ass.
I know, right? Bastards. But want to end it here?
Yeah,
I gotta go bathroom.
Yeah, let's go. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being here. Let us know what you guys thought. If you guys watched the movie, what you guys thought about it. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends and everything like that. And we will see you guys next week.
Yes, sir. Love yous.
Bye.
Bye.